In case you've just joined us, my guests tonight are Bill and Edna Hill. They run Hill's Guiding Service at Trout Creek, Montana, and we're going to talk about hunting and fishing in the western states. How do you get started? If a person decides to hunt out there, where do you turn for information?
The best source of Montana information would be the Montana Outfitters and Guide Association in Hot Springs, Montana.
What kind of information can you provide?
An accurate list of qualified outfitters in the region, as well as hunter success in our region.
Say a rookie is coming out there. Would you recommend that that person get a guide?
Yes, sir, very much so. It's very rugged country. We have history in our area of deaths from hypothermia, from people getting lost that didn't know the terrain before going hunting in that rugged terrain.
What do you expect of a client? Now, you've been in the business for 40 plus years. Bill has been in it for 20 plus years. What do you expect of a client?
Not really, except not too much, except that they should come physically able and bring the right clothing. They should contact a outfitter first and know what they're getting into, bring what clothing the outfitter recommends. Bill,
what do you expect of a client?
What I expect of a client would be cordiality. He's buying my service. If he is cordial, cooperative, he will get the best available assistance to make him a successful hunter in western Montana.
What does a client usually expect of the guide? What's the services that a client is buying?
He's buying the qualified professional hunter experience of years of hunting these mountains, these specific mountains, and knowing every ridge like the back of his hand, and so that he won't get lost, he won't freeze to death, he won't go home with a bad memory.
Do you or other guides in Montana or other western states do background checks on people about their physical wellness, their ability with the gun, their hunting ability at all?
No, sir. We feel that if a man is coming into this terrain, it is his obligation to notify us previously of any physical handicaps, any shortcomings whatsoever, so that we can prepare and not put him in a dangerous situation according to that physical handicaps.
What about the rifles and checking their marksmanship and their hunting ability?
Rifles?
I mean, you're not taking people out there to teach them to hunt, are you?
No, sir. These people that are coming to the West should have their rifles zeroed and be very proficient with the weapon before contacting an outfitter.
We expect them to take directions, and so they know how to get out of the terrain that they're in at that daily. We change places we hunt.
In other words, when you're on the trail, you're the boss.
Right, right.
Do you get any flack from anybody that you hunt with?
Very seldom, but some of them don't do what we tell them to do. If we tell them to take a right-hand turn, they'll take a left-hand turn, and then we have to second-guess them, and we usually catch them.
It can be a fatal mistake.
Yes, that's true. That is very true.
How did you get into the business?
Well, I got into the business. I've always hunted all my life, and I love hunting, and I was crippled up there for a while, and my uncle, I told him I couldn't hunt, so he said, why don't you take the fellas to the top of the mountain and pick them up at the bottom and tell them where they could find elk on a map and how to get out, and that's the way I got started.
When was that?
That was about in '63.
How many hunts have you guided since then?
But this is, I don't know, just numerous, but I had guided for years before that, not professionally. But I had taken people. It was a sense of achievement, and it was fun. I get quite a thrill when some hunter knocks down a big bull and hugs me and shakes my hands 5 or 6 times, and that's a thrill to me.
Bill or Edna, what should you do physically to prepare for this trip, this pretty rugged country out west?
I highly recommend strenuous hills, climbing hills, running up them, running down them. Put weight on your back, the most you can carry, and continuously hiking for as long a time as it takes,
You need to build up your aspiration too. You're hunting at what altitude?
Probably from 4,000 to 6,500 feet above sea level.
And if you don't have hills close to you to going up and down, use your stairs and things like that.
What about marksmanship? What are most of the shots being taken at distances now?
The shots in our country are 50 yards or 200 and over. We hunt in thickets to flush the game from the thickets into the open hillsides across these narrow canyons. It's either you're shooting under the timber on the same side of the canyon with the elk, or they're across the elk and you're shooting directly across the canyon at them.
What are some of the rules in the camp?
Well, the first basic rule with our camps is no liquor in camps with firearms. If a man comes into our camp, books into our camps, town is not that far away that if he's into the nightlife, he can make it there and make it back to camp without a firearm associated with him.
What kind of game are we talking about here? Mule deer, black bear, what else?
Sir, we have mule deer, black bear, the cinnamon phase of the black bear, excellent whitetail, trophy class whitetail deer. The biggest elk in Montana are in Region 1. We also have a population of grizzly bear that a man should become familiar with in case he encounters one on one of our hunts.
To hunt all those animals costs a lot. Why a quota system, and why the fees for the particular licenses to hunt each animal?
Well, they have a combination license, elk, deer, and bear, birds, and fish for $275 this year. Next year it will be $350 to non-residents. The quota...
So the prices are going up?
Yes, sir. The quota of 17,000 non-residents is a minor part of the hunting pressure within Montana, because most of the hunting, elk hunting in specific, is in western Montana, and everybody from other counties is in that one small area hunting too, so there is actually a total of hunters in there that is unbelievable.
Is a non-resident being edged out of hunting in Montana or Colorado or Wyoming?
No, he might be priced out eventually, but not forced out.
He is in those other states because they put a quota on license, and so they're all coming into Montana now.
Why the quotas? Is there that great a demand among non-residents to hunt in those states?
Yes, I would say so.
If there weren't quotas, what would happen?
They would shoot out the last remaining elk within 5 years. I would presume that that would be accurate.
Why is it so important for a non-resident to apply early for a permit?
They have a quota of 17,000 licenses in the state of Montana. Them 17,000 licenses are first come, first served, and were sold from April 1st and sold out by June 14th last year. They sold 4,500 licenses, of them 17,000, in 2 days. They go fast because they are first come, first served. A man should have his application and money order to Montana State Fish and Game in Helena before April 1st.
The person that hires a guide pays a pretty good fee for that service. How is that fee determined? How can a person make sure that they are getting their money's worth?
Our fees are determined by the quality of animals that we are able to produce in the western Montana, and also the quality and care given to each individual client while hunting or fishing with us.
Who are your clients? Where are they coming from? Are they all wealthy individuals, or are they just quote-unquote average people?
They're just average people. They're average working class.
They save up for this trip?
Yes, sometimes they can only come every other year because it takes them that long to save.
But they want to make it.
Yes.
It means a lot to them. Where are they coming from, Bill?
They're coming from everywhere, and they're coming back. Once they're there, they get hooked.
How prominent are Wisconsin hunters among your clients?
Very prominent. Wisconsin is number 3 state in the United States of inquiries to our business.
Is that right? Who are 1 and 2?
Pennsylvania is the top one, and Texas is number 2.
What do you know? What do you got to say about the Wisconsin hunter?
Good hunters, very good quality hunters.
Why?
Because they will do all the prerequisites, they will listen to directions, they are good marksmen, and they try hard.
What should a person look for that are telltale signs that this person is good this person is questionable? How do you determine when you just don't know?
The first thing to me to beware of is the guide that guarantees.
You can't guarantee.
No.
Because to me, a guarantee is the guide is shooting them for the clients.
I see.
Also, Dave, on a guaranteed hunt, if you will read the fine print at the bottom, you usually get in for $2,000, and the fine print will cost you another $4,000 on a guaranteed hunt.
So that's a sign that something's not right. What else? What else should you steer away from?
Well, steering away from, let's go back for a minute to what you should look for. One thing is you should request the outfitter's license number from the state that he is licensed with, and then call that state's outfitter association and get a recommendation on the man.
What recourse does a person have if they go out there and they have a bad experience? They're not happy with the guide.
You have none after you've spent your money. That's it.
Well, you can turn them into the Fish and Game, or you can turn them into the game warden.
Also to the game associations.
Right, yes.
What would happen to that person? Would they be in business any longer, do you think?
They investigate them.
The reason for my previous reply was that there wasn't nothing once you've spent your money. It's very, very hard to get a case brought into court of this nature.
What should a person look for then? Maybe references, experience in a particular area?
The first thing to inquire of an outfitter is how long he has resided in his advertised area of outfitting. If a man has not lived in one area over 5 years or more, the odds are that that man does not know that country well enough to take your money and guarantee you that he's going to treat you right in that country.
Why did you become guides? What do you personally get out of it?
At the time, I realized that I had a certain talent of knowing the country better as a young man than most full-grown men knew the country. I realized also that I was a very good hunter. I knew then that I was like a musician. I had to share my song with folks. And that's when I decided to help others be successful as I had been.
It's when that man or woman shoots something, and it's a sense of achievement, it's something that I want to share with them. It's just something that's hard to explain.
The country, what does it mean to you?
That country means everything. To me, that's God's country. And that's about the only way I can phrase it. I love it.
Well, I've enjoyed having both of you here tonight, and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's really been educational.